me and call my attention, then I have to go back and watch that program and see if they were right or wrong. If what they pointed out is not right, and I just tell them, I will give them reason why I said what I said. A community that cannot tolerate disagreement becomes divided. We disagree to agree. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. Allow people to express themselves. Allow people to be who they want to be. You are not God. Even God himself gave man the free will to make decisions. God gave man the free will. How dare you, a human? How dare you try to take away that free will? How dare you? And people who spend all their energy fighting themselves may lose sight of the bigger issue that they claim to care about. That is the danger. A people who spend all their energy fighting themselves may lose sight of a bigger issue they claim to care about. Every one of us, we are claiming we care about Biafra, we care about Mazi Simon Ekpa, we care about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we care about their freedom. But we spend all our effort and energy fighting ourselves. The energy we are supposed to be channeling against the real enemy that we know, the Janjaweed, the Caliphate, the Nigerian government itself. The energy we use to face them, you would transfer the energy to your people. You use it and fight your own brother, fight your sister. You channel your energy in winning argument and winning saga. Winning argument, you want to win and you want to win saga. Meanwhile, there is a war ahead of us. You lose sight of the bigger issue, the war we all claim to care about. So I want to say this directly. Biafrans, we must respect one another. My fellow Biafrans, wherever you are watching from, I don't care where you belong or which group you belong or who you are supporting or who you are not supporting. Biafrans, we must respect one another. You do not have to agree with everybody. There is no law that said you must agree with everybody. You do not have to agree with everybody. But to respect one another. We must respect one another. That is the point. If somebody supports Simon Ekpa, you do not have to insult that person. Anybody, I think in the Bible, there was a place he said that who is not against us is with us. That's a quotation like that in the Bible for those of you that are Christian and knows Bible. I think it was the apostles of Christ that when somewhere something was happening, or they saw people who were casting demons, and when they came and reported to Christ, and they told him that they saw people who were casting demons in the name of Jesus, who are there. He said, "He who is not, if they are not against us, they are for us. He who is not against us is for us." So anybody that supports Simon Ekpa Njoku, you do not have to insult that person. You don't have to insult, even if you don't agree with the person. You are not bound to agree with everything with the person. But anybody that supports Simon Ekpa Njoku, anybody that supports Nnamdi Kanu, you don't have to insult that person. He is not against us, he's with us. If somebody supports another Biafran political position, you do not have to abuse that person. If somebody takes a different opinion, a different position, a different group, you don't have to abuse them. There's no need to abuse that person because of the group he belongs. You don't have to abuse anybody because of their views, because of their opinion. You don't need to abuse anybody. If somebody questions the strategy of the movement, answer the question with facts. When somebody questions the strategy of the movement, the strategy you are using, you don't have to abuse the person. I have seen several times, even people who claim to be leadership, when you ask questions, they abuse you. They reply you with abuse and insult. A simple question you ask, a simple question, they will respond with an abuse. If somebody asks a question about the strategy of the movement, answer the question with facts. Simple. That's all it needs. If somebody makes a mistake, correct the mistake without dehumanizing the person. This one is also common among us. When somebody makes a mistake, you suddenly become a saint that doesn't make a mistake. You dehumanize the person, you insult, you do all manner of things to the person because of a simple mistake. And you know that nobody's above mistake. Tomorrow it might be your turn. If somebody makes a mistake, correct the mistake without dehumanizing the person. That is how mature political community behave. That is how mature people behave in their gathering. And we must learn. We must learn to do things accordingly. No matter how difficult it is, we must learn. If we do not learn, it is going to be a very difficult thing for us in the time to come. And most importantly, every Biafran, we must maintain a positive mindset. We must keep a positive mindset at all times. Some of us are so negative to a fault. Oh God. Some of us are so negative minded that in everything they can never see anything good in any suggestion you bring. Except the one they say. Even when everybody is supporting an issue or a plan, they will come with one negative view. Just like what happened in Finland. I can bet you that thing that was cooked up by one person, that will be through one person's suggestion that caused that confusion. A negative mindset. It is one person that created that negative mindset in that Finland, that created that chaos you saw. One person, only one person will bring that idiotic idea. And you think you can change things if things want to happen and go wrong somewhere. That's your nonsensical idea and belief will change things. You cannot change anything. Some of us are so negative minded. There are some people in this struggle that I know. You can never see them speak of positive of anything. You can never see them talk positive of anything. Any day you see them talking positive, maybe you just came in and you didn't listen to the whole news. When you listen to the whole information, you see, even after they deliver that good news, at the end, they will put negativity. They will pump it with negativity that you that is watching will be wondering if it was the person that said it previously. Some of us are so negative minded. Let us talk about mindset. This is extremely important. Very, very important. A self-determination movement is not sustained by anger alone. Self-determination movement is not sustained by anger alone. That you are angry, they are killing you, they are doing that, you are angry, you are shouting, you are crying. That is not how to sustain the movement. Oh, they are killing out, oh, you are sabo, oh, you are not doing the right thing. Oh, that is not what it takes. Anger can motivate people temporarily. That you're shouting anger, it can motivate you, but temporarily. But a long-time political aspiration requires discipline. For a long-time sustenance, it requires discipline. It requires education. Many of us are lacking education. So many of us in this struggle today, they don't even know why we are doing what we are doing. The person you hate, you don't even know why you hate the person. The group you are supporting, you don't even know why you are supporting the group. You don't even know your role. The strategy and agenda you are fighting, you don't even know what it is. Long-term political aspiration requires discipline. It requires education. For a long time, for us to succeed, it requires organization. We must organize ourselves. In every group we find ourselves, we must organize ourselves. Organization. We must organize ourselves. I saw a little bit of that organization in Finland. I saw a little bit of it before the chaos broke in and everything. At the first day, we saw the organization the first day. From the protest, we saw the organization from the protest. It was organized. Going forward to the first day of the court, we saw organization. Third day, we saw organization until the whole thing blew out. We begin to see confusion. So everything I'm saying here, I saw the examples and things in these 3 days of this court that we saw. We need patience. Every one of us. For us to have a long-time sustenance, we need patience. Individually, we must be patient for one another. We must be patient. We need strategy, a solid strategy. A solid strategy, we need it. There must be a strategy wherever you find yourself. We also need communication. We require communication. For us to stand and sustain for a long time, it requires communication. It requires strategy. It requires communication. For long-time sustenance, it requires people who are able to think beyond today's emotion. For us to sustain for a long time, it requires people who are able to think beyond today's emotion. Today you are emotional. You offend your brother, you shout, you kill, you do whatever. What about tomorrow? Do you think about what happened tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Biafra comes. You go back, and the person you are now castigating is your next door neighbor. What do? The person you have maligned, you have lied about, pushed propaganda against, the blackmailed, is your next door neighbor. What do? For long-term sustenance, people who are able to think beyond today's emotion. We need people who are able to think beyond today's emotion. So when we talk about maintaining a positive mindset, we are not saying that the Biafrans should ignore problems. No, that's not what I'm saying. When I say keep a positive mindset, I am not saying you should ignore problems. No. We are saying that we should refuse to allow problem to destroy our sense of purpose. That's what I mean. Because I know some of you are very negative minded. As I said, they will not go and copy this one and say, oh, Chick Survivor say we should have a positive mindset. Any trouble, we should just accept it. We should just accept everything that happened and go. No, that's not what I said. When I talk about maintaining a positive mindset, we are not saying that Biafrans should ignore problems, because problems will always be there. What I am saying is that we should refuse to allow problem to destroy our sense of purpose. That's what I'm saying. A positive mindset. I'm campaigning for a positive mindset. A positive mindset simply means I can acknowledge difficulty without surrendering hope. That is positive mindset. That you can acknowledge there is difficulties, but you are not surrendering your hope. You will acknowledge there is difficulties. We know there is a problem. We know, but there is hope. That is what is called positive mindset. Positive mindset doesn't mean that you will ignore difficulties or ignore the that there's problem. There is. You always recognize that. Acknowledge difficulties without surrendering hope. Positive mindset. I can disagree without becoming hateful. I can disagree without becoming hateful. That is positive mindset. You can disagree without becoming hateful. That is how to have a positive mindset. When I say a thing, you don't agree with it, you immediately there you say, I don't agree with this. When the topic is over, we move on to the next thing and we shut up and we move straight. When we come back to that issue, I do not agree with this. After that, we move on to something else and we move on with our lives. Positive mindset means I can criticize without becoming destructive. That is positive mindset. You can criticize, but let your plan not to be to destroy your brother, your sister. You see some people, they will even come online and tell you that I will destroy you, I will destroy her, I will destroy him. I will make sure I render you useless online. I will make sure I destroy your reputation. And they still claim they are criticizing. When you ask them, why are you saying this? They say, oh no, it's just criticism. That is not criticism. Criticize without becoming destructive. Criticize if you can, but without becoming destructive. That is positive mindset. Demand justice without promoting violence. That is positive mindset. You demand justice, but do not promote violence. Don't promote violence. That is positive mindset. I can advocate for self-determination while respecting the dignity of people who disagree with me. I say it here, even if you're a one Nigerian, all you can do is to tap in, come here, and give me the reasons why you don't want me to fight for my freedom. I have some people who are one Nigerians. We are still friends. We talk. When the topic of the issue of Nigeria comes, we discuss it. They have their points. I have mine. We still respect each other. They respect me. I respect them. They are entitled to their view. There are some of them who don't have the boldness we have to speak. Some of them are scared of one thing or the other. So everyone have the reason why they are doing what they are doing. We advocate for self-determination while respecting the dignity of people who disagree with us. That is the kind of mindset that can produce meaningful political engagement. That is the kind of mindset I'm advocating for. The Biafran self-determination have come to stay. There's nothing anybody can do. All we have to prepare ourselves is how to sustain it. The Biafran self-determination have come to stay. And what does self-determination mean? What does self-determination actually mean? At its core, self-determination is about the ability of a people to determine their political future. The ability for the people to determine their political future. That's self-determination. But wherever we discuss self-determination, we have to discuss it seriously. That is why Biafrans, we are serious about our self-determination. We're not joking. It's not a joke. If you think it's fun, yeah, you come and have fun and do all manner of nonsense, you're an idiot. Biafra self-determination is a serious business. It's a serious business. We cannot reduce everything to slogans. We have to ask difficult questions. Ask difficult questions. What political picture do people want? How should the future be pursued? What institution will be required? How would minority be protected? How would neighboring communities be treated? All these questions, Mazen Nandekan have taken all of them one after the other. And Mazen Simon also took these questions. Biafrans asked these questions, intelligent questions. They were asked several times. And Mazen Simon handled it. Mazen Nandekan also treated these questions that I'm asking here. Difficult questions. What political future do people want in Biafra? We are going to practice a democratic system. After all, democracy started from Biafra land, from Igbo land, Gogon. How should the future be pursued? Mazen Nandekan made it clear. We are going to build a brain-based economy. A brain-based economy. It is not just about resources or this, that. No, no, no. What institutions will be required? Mazen Nandekan laid down the institution, and Mazen Simon Ekpa, when he was forming the BRGIE government, he put down all these institutions required. Every institution required, Mazen Simon Ekpa put them in place through the charter and later the constitution. All the requirements were there. How would minority be protected? Mazen Nandekan made it clear there will be no minority in Biafra. Everybody will be equal, nothing like minority. The same rights to everybody. Wherever, even if you are 5 people, the resources in your land, you make use of it. How would neighboring countries be treated? Mazen Nandekan answered it. Mazen Samwe answered it. At the same Mazen Nandekan said that we are going to make sure that every neighboring country is getting oil free of charge. And he gave reason for that. We will make sure we boost their economy so that they can be able to buy our service. Because when you are producing the service and nobody's buying it, that means you are doing nothing. If you're rich and your neighbors is poor, after producing all those cars and all those services, who is going to pay for it? Nobody. So we need to support their economy to grow so that they can also patronize us. What would the economic structure look like? Master Simon explained it in one of his programs. He explained it. What will happen to the borders? The plans are there. What will happen to citizenship? We discussed the citizenship in detail with Master Simon Ekpa. And it was explained in the Constitution, is also there. How would security be maintained? These questions we are asked and answered. How would democratic accountability work? How would the rights of people who disagree be protected? These are serious, serious questions that need to be asked. And if Biafrans want the world to take the self-determination conversation seriously, then we must also be prepared to have serious conversation. Serious conversation. And most of those conversations, I can bet you, they are still going on. They are already going on. They are already going on. We just need to conduct ourselves. We cannot only talk about emotion. We must talk about institution. That is why Biafrans are signatory and ready to be signatory to all human rights organizations. Every human rights organizations and so many other ones. Biafrans are ready to be signatory to it. That's a promise that Mazen Nandekan made. Mazen Simon Ekpa repeated it also. We must talk about governance. How will we govern? We must talk about human rights. We must talk about economic sustainability. Economic sustainability. We must talk about democracy. We must talk about peaceful political process. And we must talk about what kind of society we want to create. It is time to engage the world. And many people are already engaging. Continue to do your part wherever you are. If you are working diplomatically, working in defense, any area that you have your call, be serious with it and do your right thing. Do what you need to do. And I bet you at the end of the day, we will smile into Biafra. No man can stop us. I want you to understand that when we talk about unity, it doesn't mean that everyone must agree. No. Don't get it mixed up. When we talk about unity all the time, it does not mean that we must agree. So I have to make it clear. Unity does not mean uniformity. I have said it time and time again. Unity does not mean uniformity. Unity does not mean everybody must think exactly the same way. Unity does not mean nobody is allowed to criticize a leader. No. Unity does not mean everybody must support the same strategy. No. Unity means that disagreement does not automatically destroy our common humanity. That is what unity is. Our disagreement does not automatically destroy our humanity, our common humanity. Think about it. In any democratic society, people disagree. Political parties disagree. Families disagree. Churches disagree. Organizations disagree. Academic communities disagree. But disagreement does not have to mean war. Disagreement does not have to mean hostility. That is the lesson we should learn. If somebody says, I disagree with Simon Ekpa, or I disagree with you or him, that person should be allowed to say it. If another person said, I support Master Simon Ekpa Njoku, that person should also be allowed to express the position peacefully. Then we ask, why do you support him? When somebody came and say, I support this person, you don't have to attack them because of what they support. Just like as I say that I don't want to belong anywhere, I am for Biafra and I promote Manzi, Nandekano, and Mazi Samuel. Some people are angry. Some people come to my platform, they attack me because I said that. You don't have to attack me, don't be angry. You have to come with your question. Ask me, why did I say what I said? Why did I choose these two men alone to promote? Why did I refuse to belong to any group? Those are questions you should ask. Why do you support what you support? What evidence supports your argument? What strategy do you believe will work? What are the weaknesses of your position? That is political debate. That is intellectual engagement. That is how serious movements grow, not by cursing, abusing, blackmailing, and giving people name that is not theirs. That will not help. That has never helped. We need to maintain respect for the court process as we are proceeding. Today is off.